So now, without further ado, let me introduce our guest speaker. So today we have Iona Santos Fresnoza from FAST BC. She's a regular speaker and definitely one of our favorites here at Next Up Canada. She always has so much insight to provide, and we're happy to have her here with us again. Thank you so much for being with us today, Iona. I will now switch the presentation over to you, and you can take it away.
Thank you so much, Just Karen, and for that wonderful introduction. I have to admit, it's also one of my favorites being here Next Stop, delivering webinars, not just about our program, but the things that I am continuing to learn as well from the mentors that we have in FAST. So hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good day. My name is Iona Santos Fresnoza. I work at the Immigrant Employment Council of BC. But the program that I want to tell you about right now is called FAST, Facilitating Access to Skilled Talent. It is a national program that we offer for pre-arrival immigrants to Canada, as well as those who have already landed as permanent residents. And I want to share something that we have learned from one of our e-mentors in FAST, which is about networking. And as just Karen has referenced at the beginning, like these are uncertain times that we're in right now. Like since March, the world has rapidly changed, and every day, like we deal with a lot of changes still. And through the programs that we have available, we hope that we can continue to serve you and help you prepare for what's ahead in your journey to immigrating to Canada. So I just want to go over a brief agenda for our session for today. I want to talk a little bit about our organization, IECBC, a snapshot of the Canadian labor market, which, as everyone knows, is changing every day, and how the FAST program can help you. And as I mentioned, I do want to highlight some of the insights that we've learned from our e-mentor. Her name is Dominique Galineau. She works in the gaming industry, and she has a lot of experience in recruitment and hiring, and she really gave us a lot of good pointers on networking. And then at the end of the session, I do want to hear some of your questions, and I hope that I can help answer them and point you in the right direction. So the Immigrant Employment Council of British Columbia, or IECBC, is a not-for-profit organization that provides employers with solutions, tools, and resources that they need to attract, hire, and retain qualified immigrant talent. So we are based in British Columbia, but as I mentioned, that the program that we have called FAST is a pan-Canadian program that can help individuals who are immigrating to Canada. But part of the role that we do at IECBC is really to help educate employers on the value of hiring immigrant talent. There is so much diversity that immigrants bring, so much international work experience that's very valuable and can help their companies grow, and ultimately the Canadian economy grow as a whole. So the FAST program is really designed for individuals to prepare for their careers, for what's ahead here in Canada. And we are able to then connect these individuals to the employer partners that we have and help them understand that there are these individuals like all of you here who are able to contribute your skills, your work experience, and your diverse insights into the workplace. So just a quick snapshot of the Canadian economy as relates to the need for skilled immigrants. Like statistically, Conference Board of Canada has really projected that for Canada to be able to address its workforce needs, we would need around 350,000 immigrants annually by 2035, rather, to meet its workforce needs. So that's a lot of immigrants throughout the years because of the aging population of Canada. More and more workers will be needed. And as you know, like COVID-19 has really disrupted a lot of things, and with regards to employment, there are a lot of obstacles right now that, of course, people have to go through, both from the employer perspective and also on the candidate perspective. But what we're seeing right now, according to Statistics Canada, is even though there has been this disruption as economies try to have as companies try to position themselves for recovery, there will be a continuing need for workers, and immigration is also one of the best things that Canada can count on to fill the gap in the skills that they need. And there for industry specifically, um, in particular in BC, the BC Tech Association has always reported that there's a talent crisis. There's this there's this lack of talent that they need filled in BC. And in biotech, there's a report that was done by our partner BioTalent Canada, which is the industry association for biotech companies. There's 33% that have reported a skill shortage. So they're really struggling to find the right workers to fill the gaps in their companies. So, however, like while there are opportunities, I mean, it has shifted right now, but I still see that there are companies who are continuing to hire, especially tech companies, and those that are delivering services. There are still um, available jobs. While it is so, it's still competitive. And these are just some of the top barriers that exist for newcomers. One, of course, is language barrier. And of course, not just with English language itself, but the language of the workplace. So kind of cultural competence, like understanding how it is to work in a Canadian context and the jargon that working in a particular industry entails. And there's that notion of credential recognition. You have to, of course, equivalate your international education to Canadian standards, and sometimes it is a challenge to really demonstrate how your previous experience will match what Canada needs. And then that notion of Canadian experience, quote unquote, which in our work at IECBC, we're trying to educate employers to not look for this, to not require this, because we believe that if immigrants are given the opportunity to work in a field that they are familiar with, and in something that they have already been doing back in their home countries, they will rise to the occasion, and that is when they will be able to have Canadian experience. But from feedback that we're getting from employers, what they mean by Canadian experience is, again, that ability to understand workplace culture and how it is to relate to Canadian coworkers. So the programs that we have developed at IECBC both addresses the concerns and the expectations of employers, and also for newcomers, like how can we both prepare both sides to understand each other and to connect them with one another. So FAST as a program is designed for newcomers to Canada to gain these three main things. Firstly, you will learn about the soft skills that you need to succeed in the Canadian workplace, and it's through the a dashboard that is personalized to you. You get learning materials, you get information on how it is to work in a Canadian setting, through videos, through questions that ask you to reflect on a particular scenario or situation and how you would respond. Secondly, the assessments that we have in FAST will help you show how your skills and experience meet Canadian standards, and you will be able to generate a report that tells you and your potential employer how well you are able to work in that work environment. And thirdly, you will get access to industry certification. So if you are in IT, you will be ITP certified or Information Technology Professional certified by ICTC, which is the National IT Association for tech professionals in Canada. And if you are in biotech, you can get access to their BioReady skills validation tool, which helps employers understand that you have been able to pass the Biotalent Canada standards in working in the bioeconomy. So it is a testament to your previous experience that you have the knowledge and ability to work in the Canadian biotech industry. So that's just like a preview of FAST, and this is a snapshot of our website. It's fastbc.org, and I encourage you to go to the site to learn more. But what I wanted to highlight today is one that we've learned about networking from our e-mentors. So after you complete the content in FAST, after you've done your assessments and you've generated a report of your skills, you will be invited to an e-mentoring session. And an e-mentoring session is a group of about 12 to 15 individuals that we gather online, similar to this, and we invite an HR manager or an IT specialist or a talent management recruiter to talk about some best practices on job search and how you can position yourself in a better way so that when you land in Canada, you know where to begin and how you can apply these certain things in your job search. So right now I want to highlight networking for job success, and this was shared to us by Dominique, and she is an operations manager at a gaming company that's based in Toronto, and she's really given us a lot of great insight into networking. So firstly, let's define, what is professional networking and why is it important later on. So professional relationship building, it means that you expand your network, whether across various regions or industries, different channels like social media. Right now, of course, like we are all facing challenges in meeting in person, so there are online means that we can continue to do that. Organizations right now, industry associations, different groups are hosting a lot of webinars and kind of e-meets where you can join and meet fellow professionals or workers in the same industry and learn from each other. There are a lot of opportunities that you can use right now, especially LinkedIn has always been there. And if you have not started a LinkedIn profile yet, as you are, preparing for your move to Canada, this may be a good time to start building your professional network through LinkedIn. And if you have already, a destination and you know where you want to be here in Canada, start researching on potential companies or associations that you can be part of. And it doesn't just have to be related to work, but what are your interests? What are your passions? What are organizations that you admire and that you believe in that resonate with your values? Try to look for these organizations and try to reach out to some individuals who are connected to that organization, or try to join their meetups. If they are organizing a webinar or a a town hall about something that interests you, that might be a good opportunity for you to connect with them. So why is networking important? You know, Dominique has shared that in all her roles, she was able to find those jobs and those promotions because of networking. And I personally have experienced this as well. Like when I moved to Canada in 2015, I, of course, didn't know anybody in my industry. and I was still scoping for, where will my skills be best used, and where do I really want to grow in, and how do I translate my passion into the work that I'll be doing here in Canada. And I met a lady in a cafe, and I I really appreciate the conversation that we had there, because through her, I was able to know that there are these programs and supports for newcomers, that I can get supported in maybe getting a course to upskill so that I can reach my career goal. And that simple conversation in a cafe can be a networking skill in itself. And I didn't really know what was going to happen after that conversation, but it turns out she works with an immigrant serving organization here in BC. And instead of me just actually joining the program, I found my first job in Canada, my first office job in Canada. So that was really that was really great, that because of a conversation, because of a connection, something can happen, like a connection can bring about opportunities. So new career opportunities can happen because of the networks that you build. So we should not take it for granted that the people we meet may one day be able to help us. And in the same manner, we might be able to help others as well. And networking is also a good way to find potential mentors. I believe in the power of mentoring. I believe in connecting with someone who has more experience and who's been through the same similar journey. We may have unique journeys, but kind of similar challenges. Who can help us get through them and overcome them because of the wisdom that they have gained? And building a community of support is also good and very much needed, because moving to a new country has opportunities, but also some downsides to it, and you will need a community of support to help build you up. And that can happen with you just opening yourself up to people, and letting them into your life, and you being part of theirs. And also career development, right? So every time that you meet an individual or be part of an activity, whether it be online or in person, consider that as building blocks to where you might be in the future. So that can open up your own professional development opportunities, and it helps increase your industry knowledge as well. If you are in accounting, for example, or IT, there are professional organizations that that cater to your needs professionally, and through the associations that organize webinars, town halls, you get more relevant industry knowledge that can help you in your next steps. So let's take a look at some stats about networking. So did you know that 35% of the people who have found a new job opportunity was through a casual LinkedIn message? You might not realize it at first, but you know, either you reaching out or someone reaching out to you because of the profile you have, the skills, and your previous work experience, that might turn into something later. So don't take for granted the people who want to connect with you on LinkedIn. And also for you, that can be an opportunity for you to look out for people who are of the same interests, who are in the same space, and try to reach out, and not just because of what you'll get, but maybe what you can share with them. And 70% of people who were hired in 2016 was at a company where they had a connection. And I think this is true, like for Canada. Like, networking is really important, because that is when you will be able to like have a message that comes across, that is not just you doing the work, but it's other people vouching for you and other people saying that, yes, I've met this person, they're great, they have a great experience, and you can count on them. So, someone else vouching for you and your work ethic and your passion can go a long way. So, don't discount the fact that that you know right now, even though we can't yet be here in Canada in person and join any in-person events, there are tools right now. LinkedIn is one big example where you can start building your online network. So, ways to network. I've said it, like right now we're limited to online networking, but LinkedIn is really very powerful, I find. And if you want to be seen as a thought leader in your industry or contributing to that industry, there's a way where you can communicate, what you think and where you were at in your journey by contributing an article with how you feel, with a topic that you feel that you're capable of discussing, and that can help you find people who are like-minded and who are also like-hearted, so people with the same values that resonate with the things that you care about. For example, right now here in North America, there's a huge growing movement, and I'm glad to see this happen on support for Black lives. And if that is something that you are passionate about, that you believe in, I believe every one of us should contribute in a way. Um, Share your thoughts on how you think we can create a more diverse and inclusive community by going against injustice and standing up for social justice. So that is a way for you to actually get people to see what you stand for, and that will attract other like-minded, like-hearted people to your network. So there are also professional groups and forums, like for HR professionals. There's the HR Tech group, and you've probably heard of Reddit. It's an online community that has all topics discussed, I believe, and there are industry specific subreddits or like discussion forums. So if it's about even immigrating to Canada, establishing your career in IT, establishing your career in accounting and finance, you will find a lot of discussion groups online that you might be able to join and gain a lot of information from, and also share where you're at in your journey. So those are just some of the channels that you can use right now, even though you can't uh, do an in-person, networking or meetup. But when that time comes, you know you should also be ready to join networking events or conferences and professional development workshops, even events. It doesn't have to be just work related, but what are the things that you care about, what are the things that you're passionate about. Even social events and gathering places have value in you meeting people who think like you, who have the same background as you, and people who are the opposite of you, and you can gain different perspectives as well. So yeah, those are places to network. And even in my personal experience, like a coffee shop, cafe can be a place to network if you use it, of course, wisely and not intrusive to the other person. But it it takes it takes it takes discernment to also know the right timing to approach a person. But if you have the right intention and a kind heart and a nice smile, and a good intention, not just to benefit yourself but also to reach out, a genuine desire to reach out and to connect with people, that will resonate. And so I hope that you can also keep that in mind, that there might be opportunities to connect to others in ways that you have not thought of before. So be open, um, be genuine, be yourself. And also, best practices that Dominique has shared, and this relates to what I just said earlier: build relationships, not transactions. No one would want to connect with someone just because they want something from them. So genuine connections happen when you start at at a point where you're not just there to get something from another person, but you're also looking for what you can contribute. So um, Dominic said Canadian professionals don't like to feel that someone's only reaching out to them for just professional advice or information. Of course, they're human as well, right? If you are reaching out to someone on LinkedIn and they are a recruiter or a talent acquisition specialist, they're also human. Like, they probably receive hundreds or thousands of connection requests. But what will make you stand out is really your authenticity and your genuine request or ask to just connect at a personal level. So not just, of course, don't just go sending a message without any pleasantries and politeness. So remember that they're human. The other side of the screen, of the message that you're sending, is a human who's reading it. So of course, pleasantries and politeness go a long way. Like, these are challenging times. I hope you and your family are doing well. And introducing yourself with with really that intention of learning more. Like, I am moving to Canada soon, and I'd love to learn more about the Canadian market. I love to learn more about what you do and what you love about your job. Would you be willing to answer a few questions? So that might be a nice way or a simple way to reach out without being intrusive and with still having that personal touch in mind. So avoid having this very direct questions like, tell me about jobs available in your company, period. Of course, that will not be seen as a pleasant message, because it's very to the point. It's like it was typed by a bot from a chat box. Like, people want reading messages that are personal, that are really addressed to them. So of course, you would have your own way of connecting with people, or a question that you really want to ask. So you have to be thoughtful about who you connect with. Make it intentional. See if the person is in the industry that you're interested in being part of, if this person has really built themselves up in the industry that you want to be in. And be just be mindful that the people you are connecting with might also be busy. So yeah, give time for a response. Like, don't keep bugging them if they have not yet responded. That might take time. And yeah, just be mindful and be thoughtful about who you're connecting with online. And the third point, of course, yeah, it's something that you can review before sending it. So take time to do that. It's a similar thing with a resume or cover letter. You wouldn't want to rush sending a message without reviewing it first. And that tells the person that you've made an effort to make sure that what you send is correct, not full of typo errors and not full of emojis. Like, there's a place for that, but maybe LinkedIn is not, or maybe just a little bit, depending on your if you've already established a relationship with a person. And of course, it's important that you show your gratitude to the person for their time. If they have responded to your questions, if they have connected with you, A simple note saying thank you for connecting with me. I'm glad to be part of your network. It's great to connect. So of course, also put yourself in the other person's shoes when you're connecting with them. What would you like to see in the other person? So empathy also plays a role here. And a thing to remember, and I'll end with this. So Dominique has really given us a lot of insight, a lot of great tips on how to network. But remember that networking isn't scary. Well, it seems like it, but once you actually start the conversation, you'll find that the other person is the same as you. Like, they're also human, and it's really not just about, you know, building 1,000 or 2,000 connections on LinkedIn, or like having 1,000 followers on Twitter. But it's really about meeting genuine people, meeting new people who have shared interests, whether professional, whether a personal passion. So it's really being part of a community. So I hope that you think about that as you go out there, as you reach out to people, and as you also let people into your network. So remember that you don't have to be a social person to build your network. I heard this in a TED talk recently that the most anti-social person has actually created a network for people to find friends, which is really ironic if you think about it. Mark Zuckerberg is, of course, he's a self-professed geek. He's antisocial. He's created a platform called Facebook where people can connect with each other. Well, my point is just to say that you don't have to really be like a super social person to build a network, but recognize what types of situations you're uncomfortable in. So stay away from that. So find where your comfort level is and slowly build your confidence in those channels. So if you're not sure where to start, I mean, right now we're limited to online networking. LinkedIn is really a good place to start if you want to build your professional network. So consider that if you haven't done so. Start a LinkedIn profile. If you already have a LinkedIn profile, try to see who it is in your potential networks, your extended networks, um, who it is you can connect with. And actually, in real life, networking can build your confidence and your communication skills in workplace and in real life. So consider this as a preparation and as practice for really building lasting and meaningful connections. And remember, we've all asked help at some point, and it's also very healthy to ask for support and to reach out, and people appreciate that as well. And I've found this in my own personal experience. People are willing to help, but you have to find the balance between asking and demanding. So don't demand. It's asking is different, and it's a it's a sign of humility that you need someone to help you, and people will recognize that and will be willing to help you. So one last thing to remember: networking is like any other skill, so we all need to practice, and you can't get better at it or learn about it if you don't work on it constantly. So my encouragement to you, and also my encouragement to myself, is to network in some way or in some form, and try to connect to other individuals, and practice it continuously to grow and to strengthen this skill. So that's really the highlight of the e-mentoring session that we had with Dominique. If you are a participant of FAST, or you're interested in getting into FAST as a program, these are one of the things that we do. So after you complete the online modules, you will be invited to an e-mentoring session where you sit down with a professional in the industry that you're in, and then he or she or they will be able to talk about some best practices, some tips, some insights and advice. So again, going back a little bit about FAST so that you have an understanding of what it is that we do in the program. This is a snapshot of the dashboard, and I've just pulled up the IT assessment dashboard. We have 5 streams right now that we are serving in FAST. So if you or if you know someone who's in skilled trades or biotech and life sciences, IT and data services, and our 2 new streams, accounting and finance and culinary arts, we'd love to hear from you and to hopefully serve you in the program. And what's really unique about FAST is that we have partnered with industry associations and post-secondary institutions to develop the assessments in the program for the 5 streams that I just mentioned. And it is nationally available. So no matter where in Canada you are intending to land, FAST can serve you because it is online. You just need a stable internet connection, a laptop or a tablet, or even a mobile phone. It's mobile optimized. You can access the content in FAST. So as I mentioned earlier, you get all the benefits in the program, and we are happy to announce that we've served over 1,300 clients across Canada. It's still a very new program compared to others that are running. And we did a survey for our pre-arrival clients before who finished FAST. They reported finding a job in their field within only 4 weeks. So it has helped them to really put their mind into career preparation and their next steps as they land in Canada. How do I strategize? How do I become more effective in my job search? I think it really helps to prepare. And FAST is an online career preparation program designed just to do that. So 2/3 of our participants, or 67%, have said they found a job within only 4 weeks, and that is a good turnout for us, and we're really thrilled to see that it has helped individuals find employment in their field. And so median salary, we just did a scan, and it's around 55,000 annually, which is way above the median income that IRCC reported for newcomers. So our goal in FAST is to really help newcomers get connected to a job in their field once they land in Canada, because we believe that when Canadian immigrants are connected to a job that they find meaningful, it's not just helpful for them, it's helpful for their community, for their family, and also for the economy as a whole. So everybody wins. And Femi Ogunji is one of our fast grads, and I always like sharing his testimonial. Have this nice photo of him. He is a business systems analyst from Lagos, Nigeria. He was one of our very active and proactive participants in FAST. And he said that the online modules really helped him prepare. And he's very diligent, he's very hardworking. So he knew that he wanted to be extra prepared when he landed in Canada. And it didn't take him long to, as he says, hit the ground running and find a job in his field. And he's very fulfilled working with a nonprofit, and he's actually taking more courses so that he can grow professionally as well. So if you're interested in signing up for FAST, or if you know someone who might be a good fit, we'd love to get you into the program. Go to our website, fastbc.org, and you'll receive a welcome email from us with your login details. So when you receive that, just go back into the website to start your online learning. Well, thank you so much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you so much. Just to quickly introduce myself, my name is William and I work with jobt Canada. Today's facilitator couldn't make it, so I'm here instead to ask your questions to Iona. So please send your questions our way and we'll read them off.
Thank you, William.
Okay, Iona, we have a question.
Mhm.
Um, I've already messaged an HR professional in Canada and we work in the same organization but in different countries. I still haven't received any response from her. Do you have any suggestions for what I should do?
Right. Yeah. Thanks for asking that. I think a lot of us have experienced that in one way or another. We send a message and we don't hear back. As I have experienced personally, sometimes they are just busy, so it takes a longer time for them to respond. So give it a few more days, and if no response yet, maybe just a quick nudge, send a message. Again, keeping in mind that you know you have to sound professional and pleasant and polite. Yeah, maybe just a quick gentle reminder to the person to say that you are really waiting for the response, and we hope you hope that you can hear back from them. But firstly, I would wait. Some folks are just really busy, especially when, during this time when people are working remotely or at home. It's actually even busier. So they might be just very they might be handling a lot of things right now. So patience is also key, especially if you are reaching out to an individual who is not connected with any of your contacts. Like if this is a cold email or cold message. So be patient. And if you don't hear back in a few more days, then a quick reminder to the person, I think, would be good.
Perfect. We have a
Yeah.
question related to that. Is it still recommended to cold call people or to introduce yourself to people through private messages on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I found that it again, it depends on the person, right? So, but I've found that HR, recruiters, talent acquisition specialists that I've worked with actually are used to receiving messages like that, and they don't mind at all, because if they're also coming from an experience where they were very new to Canada, they've been there and they understand that people are wanting to build their professional networks, so they have that sense of empathy. And having said that, it doesn't hurt to reach out to individuals, but I would suggest that make it mindful, make it meaningful. So make sure that if you are reaching out to a certain individual, that you really feel this person would have insights to share with you. You're really interested in the work that they're doing, for example, or you are really interested in knowing more about their company and their work in the company. So don't just randomly connect with individuals and send random messages. Make it make it meaningful. And I find that it is more effective when, for example, you have attended a webinar um, or a networking event, an online networking event, and you've heard the person share their insights about something that you're really interested in. And because you know the name of the person from that online event, you see them on LinkedIn and you make that connection and you give a context of why you want to connect. So I think it's also best practice to have to have a, to say your context, where you're coming from and why you would love to connect with the person. So in that sense, if you have a meaningful purpose of connecting with a person, by all means, connect with them, even if it's a cold outreach message. But it is really best to have someone introduce you if you're really keen in connecting with the individual. But yeah, like we're all still learning in this process, and there's no like hard and fast rules when it comes to online networking. But yeah, keep in mind, make it purposeful, make it meaningful, and really be mindful of the person's time. So just make sure that it's something like your first message will not be something that's demanding, but it will be something that that will be meaningful for the other person as well. Like share why you want to connect and why you feel that this person really resonated with you. So yeah, I hope that helps.
That was a very insightful answer. Thank you, Iona. Um, we have a question about the FAST program, actually. Is FAST suitable for marketing professionals?
Oh, thank you for that question. We do have a role that's a marketing manager or business development manager. It is under biotech and life sciences. And we've had participants who have marketing backgrounds. And what I would suggest, though, is for you to check out our website and take a look at the list of occupations that we have in there, and see if one of the roles that's in FAST resonate with what you have experienced in the past. So it is a case-to-case basis. If you are not directly in any of the streams that we have, if you're not in IT, biotech, skilled trades, accounting, or finance, but have like one of the roles in FAST as something that you have experience in, or something that you would want to build in Canada in terms of a career, then I would recommend that you consider joining FAST, because the content that we have in the program actually helps all industries. It's just the assessments that we have in FAST are for the 5 streams. So yeah, take a look at our website, fastbc.org, and I will let you like assess if the program would be a fit for you. And if you're still not sure, you can email me at fastbc@iecbc.ca. I'll type it in the chat so that you can share a copy of your resume, and then we can recommend something for you. Hope that
Perfect.
helps.
I'll make sure that everyone gets that.
Thank you.
We have questions. Is the FAST program available outside of BC?
Yes, yeah, thank you for asking that again. Yeah, just to reiterate, FAST is a national program. It's pan-Canadian, so it's designed for folks who are immigrating to Canada or who have landed already and are still looking for work and looking to really build their careers in Canada. So while we are based in BC, our organization is based in BC, the program is a nationally funded program under the Future Skills Center, which is a forward-thinking center that's really meant for innovative projects that will help Canadians face the future of work. So we're really excited to be serving Canadians from coast to coast to coast.
We have another networking question.
Mhm.
Or do you have suggestions for how we can improve our LinkedIn account for networking?
Yeah, so that would be another webinar in itself, really, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. But yeah, that is an excellent question. Just make sure that you highlight, of course, your accomplishments, like the highlights, the milestones that you have in your career in your profile. Make sure that it's up to date, your most recent role, and not just a description of what you did exactly, but again, like what it is that you have accomplished. What are the major achievements that you've had in your role, and don't just maybe, of course, like be mindful of how it looks. Like, don't just post any photo that you would post on Facebook. Like, make it professional. Like, the purpose of LinkedIn is to really showcase your professional background, your experience, and to also look for individuals who maybe have the same experience, or where you can connect with professionals with more experience so that you can learn from them. So just maybe some high level tips. May look professional, like choose a photo that's not too casual, but also not too formal. Like, of course, a smiling photo with a professional attire would be best. And think about the summary. Like, your profile is the first section that people see. So spend time to think about it and how you would write your like how you would write a summary of what you're about, that will draw people to connecting with you, and that actually summarizes what you're about. What do you believe in terms of work? Why do you want to do the work that you do? And something that will add, not just not just tell people of exactly what work you're doing, but something beyond that. Like, what do you believe in? What are you about? What are your values? What are you passionate about? And yeah, as I said, this is another long webinar, another workshop, which we had an e-mentor share about, and sometimes I do also share this in other webinars, but I hope that that will give you kind of some pointers of where to begin, to make your LinkedIn profile like more professional.
Great. So we're coming to the end of our hour. I'll read off two more questions before we end it. We've got one question about networking and one question about FAST. So, do you have any tips right now for virtual networking during the pandemic?
Right. Yeah. So there are, I've been seeing like associations that are already here in Canada, of course, are hosting, virtual meetups. And one place to go is meetup.org. Um, Depending on which industry you're in, what career you want to build, what your interests are, there are a lot of events that are being held online. So meetup.org is one, and Eventbrite is also another. You would find very interesting topics, very interesting events. Like, over the weekend, it was World Refugee Day, and I joined like an hour and a half of cooking demos with organizations all over North America that are helping refugees. And there were like breakout rooms. We learned about Syrian food, Lebanese food, Sudanese food. So it was very interesting. So you can find these events that happen, not just necessarily professional related, but as I said, like events that resonate with your values. Like, what do you advocate for? So I would recommend going online and looking for events that are maybe related to your professional association. Look at Eventbrite, look at Meetup, and sometimes on LinkedIn as well. There are listings of online professional events that you can join. So there's so many things that there's no shortage of events really right now. Like, I see left and right people are really getting busy and are really getting creative. So I encourage you to take a look at what you'd like to be involved in and what you'd like to learn more about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And our question about FAST is, when would be the best time for us to enroll with FAST? Should we enroll before we land in Canada or after?
That is a great question. I highly, highly encourage you to enroll before you land in Canada. The program was designed as a pre-arrival program, meaning it's for people who are still preparing for the move to Canada, like yourselves. So this is really the best time. I shared a bit of statistics, like 6 to 7% of people who have landed in Canada and have done FAST reported really finding a job in their field only within a month. So that is a huge difference compared with people who didn't do any career preparation programs before landing, because through the program you will get that headspace into what can you do when you land here. So you don't start from scratch. You know the associations that are related to your industry. You know the next step if you are to get your designation. For example, you're in accounting. How do you get to your CPA designation? That is discussed in the program. How do you build your workplace culture competencies? That is in the program. So if you have the time right now, and I believe like most of us have more time to devote being at home and learning different things, I highly encourage you to consider signing up now, because when you land, that's where you have more things to do, like about settling and really getting into networking. So get the career preparation stuff done now, so that when you land, you know your next steps.
Awesome. So we're coming to the end of our webinar. Before I do my closing spiel, Iona, do you have anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
Thank you, William. No, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining the webinar today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. These are great. And also want to say that I believe there's something great for you, and I'm excited for your next chapter in your journey. And I hope that we can be part of that journey. So look for more details at our website, fastbc.org. And if you have any questions after this, feel free to connect with me at fastbc at iucbc.ca and on LinkedIn. Like I always say this, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Mention that you were in this webinar, and I'd love to keep connected. Thank you, William.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Iona. So I just wanted to remind everybody that tomorrow we have a webinar at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is your first weeks in Canada. So if you need information about your important documents, finding housing in your first week, right now, if you need information about quarantine procedures, it's an important webinar for you, so you should attend. Next week, we do not have a Wednesday webinar because it's Canada Day. But on Thursday, we have a webinar about Canadian workplace culture. So very important webinar for all of you job seekers. And finally, before you leave, please take the time to fill out our feedback form, which will help both Iona and myself improve our service for you. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you. And goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, William.
Goodbye. Thanks,
Bye.
Iona.